by filing a 1040 income tax form, do you give the IRS the power to rob and imprison you? I am Peymon Mottahedeh, the president of Freedom Law School, which I found in 1996. Let's go to answer that question for you definitively from the IRS's website. We start. Here's a 1040 U.S. individual income tax return for 2020. And you see, if you go down, folks, at the bottom of the second page, they have this thing that says sign here. The signature line below it has a tiny font on the penalty of perjury. You declare everything. I'll come back to it. You declare everything on the penalty of perjury. Well, let's go to our website, and then under education materials, go to Eye-Opening Education tab. And you see here, folks, the fact is this. When you sign on the penalty of perjury, it's all under oath, like before a judge and a jury. You're saying, throw me in prison if everything on this form is not true, correct, and complete. You see, the U.S. Constitution here, in the Fifth Amendment addition to it, it says clearly that nothing can be done to force you to be a witness against yourself. You give up that right. When you fill out a 1040 income tax confession form, IRS uses it against you because you voluntarily give up your Fifth Amendment right to be silent. That's right. And I'm going to show you something else, folks. When you go to Eye-Opening Education, you'll see the fact is that you are twice as likely to be struck by lightning than to be sent to prison for not filing a 1040 income tax confession form. That's right, folks. You don't go around worried about being struck by lightning, but you're more likely to be hit by lightning than go to prison for not filing. If you read this case called Gadlin versus Commission of Internal Revenue, it's a 1985 Federal Court of Appeal case. You see the court tells it clearly that deduction cases are filing cases. When you file a 1040 confession forms, at all times, you make yourself the taxpayer, and you must come forward with evidence to support your entitlement to a deduction or expense and the amount of that entitlement, folks. You put the burden of proof on yourself. Hang yourself. The more you make, the more expenses you have, deductions, credits, all these gimmicks, the more complex it is, the more you put the burden of proof of all of this, the Internal Revenue Code, on yourself. Don't do that. Don't put the burden of proof on you. Leave it on the IRS when you don't file a 1040 income tax confession form. And if you go to our website at livefreenow.org, folks, if you go under questions to ask your tax preparer under educational materials, okay, here you see there's a key questions that explain this whole problem for you in more detail. You should read it yourself and ask your tax preparer all these questions to understand how you actually put the burden of proof on yourself. In the description below this video, you will find a link to a longer, more detailed explanation of this topic for you to learn and start living free now.